I want to talk about what I mean by enlightenment. When I say that I had an enlightenment event November 3rd, 2024, I just want to be clear what I'm talking about. First of all, enlightenment means different things to different people. For some people, just recognizing that consciousness, that we are consciousness, is enlightenment. Some people view that as enlightenment, and these are like called the Neo-Advaita people. And some people say that when you're resting, knowingly resting as awareness, that's enlightenment. And so when you're not knowingly resting as awareness, you're not enlightened, so you can lose it. And some people think that enlightenment is when you no longer see the world or the body or anything, it's just heaven. That's what kind of what I call like the rat eating enlightenment, where you're so enlightened they have to feed you with a tube, and if somebody isn't watching, a rat will come by and eat you alive because you're so out of it. But for me, when I first saw that this was something that, when this whole seeking business started, I was laser focused on this sense in the body, like right here, that I am separate. I'm in the body, trapped behind, I'm inside the body as a subject and looking out to a world as an object, and I identified that as this problem, and that is what fell away November 3rd. However, and so the visceral sense of seeking, or of a seeker who is seeking, vanished. But seeking has remained. Inquiry, spiritual practices, all that business, it is continued, and there is still, and I should backtrack. When it happened, for about 6 months, it was this honeymoon period where everything is just great. Even like my crappy job is great. Everything is great because there's this like achievement, It's really a falling away, but it feels like, you really won the lottery, and I really did in many ways. But after a time, it starts becoming old hat. It's no longer novel that there's no subject-object dualism. That no longer feeds the dopamine system. That's really what's going on, is when that happens, wow, it's so new and novel, and your brain is releasing all these feel-good hormones. That's the way I look at it. I'm a very naturalistic. I have a very naturalistic point of view on all this. And so once you get habituated to that, then you start, that no longer is novel. Now I started to see, after about 6 months, the more subtle game that needs to happen. And so that's why I say the enlightenment experience happened November 3rd, 2024, but there's still this seeking, and there's still more to be revealed. And this is one of the things that always gets me when like I'm a member of many spiritual forums, and it always gets me when people say, "Oh, that's not enlightenment." I mean, I'm not talking about me, because I normally don't mention it all that much in those places, but you know, they'll be referring to someone else. "Oh, that's not enlightenment. Enlightenment is this. It's this, or the other thing." That always go, really? Is that the case? Because I didn't know there was like a standard of enlightenment somewhere, like in some, you know, weights and measures department somewhere on earth where we all agree that, yep, this is enlightenment. No, enlightenment is just a word, and there are some discrete, like you could say, states that people have called enlightenment, and I have no problem with like a neo-Advaitin saying that they're enlightened. I knew there was a spiritual teachers website, and they had a forum, and one guy, his concept of enlightenment was that there is no such thing as enlightenment. So you're enlightened when you realize there's no such thing as enlightenment. And so he was vigorously and you know, there all you know, months and months and months, seemingly for several hours a day, trying to convince everybody that there's no such thing as enlightenment, and that's what enlightenment is. I called it the gospel of no enlightenment. But you know, that was his concept. He was kind of a jerk, but nonetheless, that was his concept, and it's fine with me. And like Ramesh Balsekar, his concept was having peace of mind, and I believe this is the flavor of enlightenment that I'm looking after. And now that the honeymoon period has long lapsed, I'm looking for that deeper peace of mind. Or I should say, the mind is still problem solving. And that's really what's going on, but there's still a sense of that I'm doing it. And this is what still needs to be resolved. It's still that I'm the one talking here. And it's not as, I don't feel the visceral sense of I'm the one talking here, but there's still a mental, I say it's like around in the head area. It used to be felt deeply in the body, but that is gone, and I no longer feel this emptiness in the body that I used to feel all the time. Anyway, I just wanted to clear that up, that I don't claim to be fully cooked. Let's just say I'm a little half-baked, okay? We'll just leave it at that. All right, I'm here at the park. All right. If you made it this far, thanks so much. You're a trooper.